Welcome to my channel, Most Worth Coins WC, where history lives in your hands. If you're passionate about rare coins, vintage currency, and the fascinating stories behind them, you're in the right place. Don't forget to watch the full video, share it with your fellow collectors, like and subscribe to stay updated with more valuable content every week. So without further ado, let's get started. The United States of America, 1 dime dated 2014 with the P mint mark, denoting production at the Philadelphia Mint, represents a modern continuation of one of America's most enduring coin series, the Roosevelt dime. First introduced in 1946 to honor the late Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's leadership through some of the most challenging periods in American history, namely the Great Depression and World War II, coupled with his personal battle against polio, led to the coin's creation shortly after his death in 1945. The dime was chosen as the appropriate denomination, in part due to Roosevelt's founding of the March of Dimes organization, a nationwide campaign aimed at eradicating polio and improving public health for children. The dime has maintained its original design since its inception, the work of John R. Sinnock, then chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. This particular 2014 PSU remains faithful to Sinnock's initial rendering, with only minor modern adjustments in minting technology and metal composition over the decades. The obverse front of the 2014 P. Roosevelt dime is dominated by a left-facing profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a detailed and realistic depiction intended to capture the resolute character and determined leadership of the man who steered the United States through its gravest economic crisis and global conflict. Roosevelt's neatly parted hair, strong brow, aquiline nose, and pronounced jawline are all rendered with careful attention to detail, evoking a sense of mid-20th century numismatic portraiture rooted in realism rather than classical allegory. Along the left border of the obverse appears the inscription, Liberty, rendered in capital letters and oriented vertically. Beneath Roosevelt's chin, in small capitalized lettering, is the national motto, "In God We Trust," reaffirming America's religious heritage and spiritual values. To the right of Roosevelt's neck, truncation, is the date 2014, with the P mint mark appearing directly beneath the dates, signifying that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in Pennsylvania, the nation's oldest minting facility, originally established in 1792 by order of President George Washington and Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton. The Philadelphia Mint has long served as a principal hub for American coinage, and by 2014 remained a prolific producer of circulating coinage. At the base of Roosevelt's neckline are the discrete initials JS, standing for John Sinnock, the coin's original designer, whose initials historically caused controversy during the Cold War-era Red Scare when some unfoundedly speculated they referred to Joseph Stalin, though this was quickly refuted by Mint officials. On the reverse backside of the 2014 P dime lies a composition rich in national symbolism. At its center is a lit torch, representing freedom and enlightenment, with flames elegantly rising toward the coin's upper border. To the left of the torch stands an olive branch, a classical emblem of peace, while to the right stands an oak branch, symbolizing strength, resilience, and endurance. These three elements are closely grouped, bound together by a horizontal inscription across the middle of the reverse field, E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one, a foundational motto of the United States since the 18th century, referencing the unity forged from a diverse group of states and peoples. Encircling the top half of the reverse design is the inscription United States of America in bold capital letters, while the lower arc of the coin bears the denomination, Declaration 1 dime, both of which follow the coin's curved rim. The reverse design has remained unchanged since its 1946 debut, a testament to its balanced symbolism and aesthetic harmony, which successfully communicates ideals of liberty, peace, and strength in a compact, elegant format. In terms of its physical and technical specifications, the 201 for P. Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper-nickel clad composition, introduced in 1965 to replace the original 90% silver content in response to rising bullion prices and coin hoarding. This modern clad construction consists of an outer layer composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. The total weight of the coin is 2.268 grams, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a thickness of 1.35 millimeters. The coin's edge is reeded, containing 118 finely spaced grooves, a feature historically intended to deter clipping and shaving when the coinage contained precious metals and retained for both aesthetic and traditional reasons. The mint of the 2014 P. Roosevelt dime was substantial, reflecting modern minting volumes necessary to meet national coinage demands. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 1,014,500,000 dimes during that year, making it a widely circulated issue readily available in commerce and banking systems throughout the eastern United States and beyond. While no significant die varieties, minting errors, or collectible anomalies have been widely reported for this date and mint mark combination, collectors occasionally encounter minor die cracks, misaligned dies, or other small-scale production flaws, which can carry modest premiums, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. The 2014 P-dime was also included in annual U.S. Mint uncirculated coin sets, where specimens were specially struck on polished planchettes with greater attention to strike sharpness, luster, and surface preservation, intended for collectors rather than general circulation. From a numismatic perspective, the 2014 P. Roosevelt dime represents a typical modern issue, abundant in high grades, generally valued at or near face value in circulated condition, and modestly priced in uncirculated, or mint state MS65 to MS68 grades. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC routinely grade modern dimes, with coins achieving MS67 or higher commanding slightly higher premiums among modern series enthusiasts. The 2014 issue holds a unique place as part of the long, unbroken sequence of Roosevelt dimes produced annually since 1946, embodying the enduring tradition of honoring one of America's most consequential 20th-century leaders through circulating coinage. Additionally, the year 2014 was notable within numismatic circles as the 50th anniversary of the end of silver coinage in U.S. dimes, 1964 being the final year for 90% silver dimes, though no design modifications were introduced for the occasion. With the series continuing uninterrupted in its clad format, the 2014 P. Roosevelt dime reflects both the stability and continuity of U.S. circulating coinage and the evolving historical contexts in which these small, everyday artifacts are produced and exchanged. Though small in size and face value, the dime remains a tangible link to the nation's economic and cultural heritage, carrying symbolic imagery that speaks to liberty, peace, and enduring strength. The continued use of Cynic's 1946 designs, on both obverse and reverse, testifies to their timelessness and relevance, with each successive year's issue contributing another chapter to the story of American coinage, whether found in pocket change, amassed in rolls, or carefully preserved in coin albums. The 2014 P. Roosevelt dime stands as a small, yet meaningful artifact of the nation's monetary and historical narrative, a reflection of both continuity and change. Modest in appearance, but rich in heritage. The United States of America, one dime coin minted in 2006 at the Denver Mint, bearing the distinctive D Mint mark, is a modern example of American small denomination coinage, deeply rooted in both the country's monetary history and national symbolism. The dime, representing a face value of 10 cents or 1/10 of a U.S. dollar, has been a staple of American currency since its initial authorized minting under the Coinage Act of 1792, which established the U.S. Mint and standardized the nation's coin denominations. The 2006 D dime continues the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946, 1 year after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in honor of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and to commemorate his strong advocacy for the March of Dimes campaign aimed at eradicating polio, a disease from which he personally suffered. The obverse, or front side, of the 2006 D dime showcases a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by sculptor John R. Sinnock, whose initials JS appeared discreetly at the base of Roosevelt's neckline, though in earlier decades, these initials spurred unfounded rumors during the Red Scare era, with claims they secretly represented Joseph Stalin. Surrounding Roosevelt's image on the obverse is a ring of inscriptions. The word liberty appears prominently to the left side of the coin, in a vertical orientation adjacent to Roosevelt's forehead, embodying one of the nation's founding ideals. While the motto, "In God We Trust," is positioned in small capital letters on the lower left, tucked below the president's chin and adjacent to his neck, the date 2006 appears to the right of the portrait. Near the truncation of Roosevelt's neck, and directly beneath the date, is the tiny yet significant D Mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint facility in Colorado, one of the U.S. Mint's primary production sites, along with Philadelphia, San Francisco, and West Point. The obverse design remains a timeless and unchanged tribute to Roosevelt's legacy, and in terms of artistic character, it represents mid-20th century American numismatic portraiture, emphasizing realism and national values over ornate or classical motifs. The reverse side of the 2006 D dime, also designed by John R. Sinnock, is rich in symbolism. It features 3 central elements arranged in a balanced, symmetrical composition: a lit torch in the center symbolizing liberty and enlightenment, an olive branch to the left representing peace, and an oak branch to the right, symbolizing strength and independence. These elements collectively reflect the principles upon which the United States was founded, and continue to serve as aspirational ideals. Encircling the top half of the reverse design are the inscriptions United States of America in bold capital letters, while the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is inscribed in a straight horizontal line across the field, intersecting the torch at mid-level, representing unity among the states. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination statement, 1 dime, signifying the coin's monetary value within the U.S. decimal system. In terms of specifications, the 2006 D Roosevelt dime is composed of a clad composition, featuring an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This clad sandwich construction, introduced in 1965 following the Coinage Act of 1965 that eliminated silver from dimes and quarters due to rising bullion prices, gives the coin a total weight of 2.268 grams and a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. With a retted edge consisting of 118 small grooves, the coin's thickness measures 1.35 millimeters, maintaining consistent dimensions established for clad Roosevelt dimes since 1965. The clad composition also provides enhanced durability and resistance to wear, making it suitable for the heavy circulation demands of everyday commerce. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint struck approximately 1,269,760,000 dimes in 2006, making the 2006 D Roosevelt dime one of the more commonly available issues within the modern clad series. While no particularly notable die varieties, errors, or special editions for the 2006 D dime have been officially cataloged in mainstream numismatic references, collectors still occasionally encounter examples displaying minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or other minor minting anomalies, which can command modest premiums depending on the severity and visibility of the error. The 2006 D dime, like most modern issues, remains widely accessible in high-grade circulated and uncirculated conditions, and its relatively high mintage ensures its ready availability for both collectors seeking to complete date Roosevelt dime collections and for use in circulating U.S. currency. Although the 2006 D dime may not be categorized as a rare or highly valuable coin in the numismatic marketplace, it serves an important role in both the practical economy and the continued legacy of American coinage. For casual collectors and those new to the hobby, Roosevelt dimes, like the 2006 D, provide an affordable and historically significant entry point into the rich tapestry of U.S. numismatics, representing themes of liberty, unity, and presidential commemoration. Moreover, the coin embodies a continuous thread of design stability, having retained Sinek's original 1946 imagery through decades of social, economic, and technological change within the United States Mint's production practices. Coins, like the 2006 D dime, are often examined by hobbyists for signs of wear patterns, die conditions, and strike quality, with examples in mint state grades such as MS65 or higher being sought for inclusion in certified collections. Though the substantial mintage numbers ensure that even high-grade specimens remain modestly priced, in most cases, nonetheless, the Roosevelt dime series holds a place of enduring significance in American culture and numismatic tradition, with each issue reflecting the values, technological advancements, and historical continuity of its era. The 2006 D Roosevelt dime remains a practical yet symbolic representation of American small-denomination coinage, carrying both its literal face value and the broader values of a nation that continues to honor its leaders and founding ideals through its circulating money. The United States of America, 1 dime dated 2020, with the Denver Mint D. Mint mark represents a continuation of one of the longest-running coin series in modern American numismatics, the Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 and has remained in continuous production ever since. The 2020 D Roosevelt dime embodies not only the traditional aesthetic and patriotic symbolism of its predecessors, but also serves as a living artifact of 21st-century coinage practices, produced during a year marked by global challenges and a turbulent historical backdrop, namely the COVID-19 pandemic and economic disruption that led to notable effects on U.S. coin circulation patterns. The Roosevelt dime was originally conceived to honor Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II had a profound and lasting influence on the nation. Commitment to public health, particularly through his founding of the March of Dimes campaign to combat polio, a disease that personally afflicted him, made him a fitting subject for the 10-cent coin, especially after his death in 19. Coin's design was crafted by John R. Sinnock, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver at the time, whose initials, JS, are discreetly inscribed at the base of Roosevelt's neckline on the obverse of the coin. The obverse front of the 2020 D dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, rendered in fine relief, capturing his distinctive hairline, highbrow, and resolute expression, an image designed to convey strength and vision. Along the left border of the coin, in a vertical arrangement, appears the word liberty in capital letters, embodying the nation's foundational ideal of freedom. Just beneath Roosevelt's chin, in a horizontal alignment, is the national motto "In God We Trust," reaffirming the country's spiritual heritage and reliance on divine providence. The date 2020 is positioned to the right of the president's neck, trunk mission, with the small D mint mark directly beneath the date, denoting that this particular issue was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. One of the United States Mint's primary production facilities, the Denver Mint has been operational since 1906 and has produced billions of coins for circulation, collector sets, and bullion programs. The obverse's design remains virtually unchanged since its inception, a testament to its timeless symbolism and the enduring respect accorded to Roosevelt's legacy. The reverse back of the 2020 dime showcases a trio of symbolic elements that communicate the nation's foundational principles and aspirations. At the center is a lit torch, representing liberty and enlightenment, with a flame rising upward in careful detail, signifying the illuminating power of freedom and knowledge. To the left of the torch is an olive branch, a time-honored symbol of peace, while on the right is an oak branch, denoting strength, stability, and enduring independence. These three motifs are bound together by a horizontal inscription across the middle field of the reverse. E pluribus, unum, Latin for, out of many, one, representing the unity of the diverse states and peoples of the United States. Encircling the upper half of the reverse is the inscription, United States of America, while the lower perimeter bears the denomination statement, 1 dime. Both inscriptions are rendered in bold, capital letters and follow the curve of the coin's outer rim. The reverse design also originates from John R. Synock and has remained consistent throughout the Roosevelt dime's long history, save for occasional mint mark or production variations. In terms of technical specifications, the 2020 D Roosevelt dime maintains the clad coinage composition adopted in 1965, when rising silver prices necessitated the transition from 90% silver dimes to a copper-nickel clad structure. The coin's outer layers are composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, surrounding a pure copper core, giving it a total weight of 2.268 grams. The coin measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, with a thickness of 1.35 millimeters and a distinctive reeded edge consisting of 118 The reeded edge originally served to deter coin shaving during the era when coins were minted from precious metals, and it has been retained as a traditional and aesthetic feature on modern clad coinage. The 2020 D Roosevelt dime was struck in significant quantities, reflecting the Denver Mint's role in meeting the currency needs of the western United States, while precise mintage figures from the U.S. Mint confirm the production of approximately 1,122,500,000 dimes at the Denver facility in 2020. The year was notable for severe disruptions in the distribution and circulation of coins due to business closures, reduced retail cash transactions, and a subsequent U.S. coin shortage. This shortage prompted increased public awareness of coin usage and new initiatives by the Federal Reserve and U.S. Mint to encourage the recirculation of coins, though it did not substantially affect the long-term availability of the 2020 D dime for collectors and commerce. From a collector's perspective, the 2020 D dime is a readily available modern issue, most often encountered in circulation, bankrolls, or uncirculated mint sets produced for hobbyists. Its large mintage ensures that circulated examples carry no premium over face value, while uncirculated and mint-state specimens, particularly those graded MS65 to MS68 by third-party certification services like PCGS and NGC, can command modest premiums due to their pristine condition. Collectors may also seek out proof versions of the 2020 Roosevelt dime, though these were struck exclusively at the San Francisco Mint and carry the S Mint mark, featuring mirror-like fields and frosted devices as part of specially packaged proof sets. The Denver minted version, by contrast, is a business strike issue intended for general circulation, but remains of interest to series completists and those assembling Day 10 mint mark sets of the Roosevelt dime series. The 2020 D Roosevelt dime reflects both continuity and the unique circumstances of its production year, while the coin itself bears no overt marks of the pandemic-era events surrounding its release. Its historical context enhances its narrative for modern collectors. The unbroken use of John R. Synock's 1946 designs on both obverse and reverse also speaks to the resilience and timeless quality of classic American numismatic art, even as coinage, technology, and production volumes have evolved dramatically. Over the decades, the coin serves as a tangible representation of both America's monetary heritage and its enduring respect for one of its most pivotal leaders, whether used in daily transactions, tucked away in change jars, or preserved in coin albums. The 2020 D dime remains a small yet meaningful artifact of American history, economy, and symbolism, a coin whose diminutive size belies its rich tradition and national significance.